What's going on, America? You with the messenger of Third Eye Knowledge. The information that has been brought across the desk of the program is devastating, alarming, and I think the rest of the country needs to hear this. Last night I got some information via the Environmental Protection Program and looking into how, the planet has been surviving the EPA regulations that have been lifted in 4 years. And it's been brought to my attention that Siberia, Russia, and every other Arctic country in which is used to seeing record cold and low temperatures, as usual for years now, have risen over 113 degrees Fahrenheit for the past 6 months. Your president has officially should be, and in my case should be, put in prison for life, lifting 7 very important COVID testing sites with record infections in every state that are either at or just slightly below 30,000 infections. Sources and correspondents have been trying to tell the American people it is so bad with coronavirus that some states in this country on the coast, whether it's the Arctic or Pacific Ocean, have been having to dump the dead in the ocean. They're running out of burial plots. Nobody can afford to be cremated. Hospitals are at capacity, either sticking patients in parking lots or letting them die peacefully in the hospital. The question to the country is, when are you going to finally start waking up? The climate change and damage is irreversible. The ice caps and ice in these countries are melting at such an alarming rate that permafrost has been releasing massive, and basically gigatons of methane into the atmosphere. So eventually, your brush fires are going to turn into wildfires, and your wildfires are going to consume the entire country, along with flooding. Tornado after tornado, hurricane after hurricane. And there's going to be nothing that this planet can do. So I suggest to America, while you're fighting for your systemic justice and racial bias within the system, etc., don't forget to make peace with other people. Don't take for granted whatever the fuck you have left, because as of next year, if we do see Trump take another 4 years, we're not going to have low-income housing, SSI, any social safety nets being brought back to the table via federal or state, local levels of government. Unemployment will jump from 60 million unemployed Americans to at least 60% of the country within the next year unemployed. If coronavirus doesn't wipe out another 25% of the country. Right now, coronavirus has ripped off 28% of the world's population in 4 months. Just to let the people know. And you can get these numbers wherever you want. You can even email the CDC and they will gladly let you know what's up. Because we need to start taking into consideration long-term thinking. The downfall of this country, America, is not just racial bias, racism, capitalism. None of us in the communities have long-term thinking anymore. We think we're so inclined, we think we're so technologically advanced, but we can't even utilize our fucking shit to get rid of MD, muscular dystrophy. We can't utilize anything, can't even get rid of cancer. Can't get rid of STDs. Because we're too busy focused on what Republican or Democrat's going to take the presidential seat, or members of Congress. Shit that is old hat and doesn't work anymore to begin with. I'm going to start a whole new conversation. We need to go back to communal local governments very quickly and start utilizing a massive system in which we can bring this country and the rest of the world to where it needs to be focused. Get rid of these entry-level jobs and start focusing on reversing this climate damage. Start utilizing our revolutionary opportunities. Motherfuckers are more concerned about keeping the slave channels of employment, which is nicknamed employment, more prominent and necessary, instead of making the entire human population have meaningful career paths in climate, environment, public health and human services, construction, clean energy, clean fuel, bringing companies from fossil fuel to something less damaging to the planet. No, they'd rather keep you behind the register flipping burgers or bagging groceries. Because that's the game. That's why government don't work. That's why government needs to be completely revitalized. Give total entire power right now to state and local governments across the country. Shutting down what you got going in Washington because it completely eradicated any opportunities for our now new toddler children now, 20 years from now. Because the planet Earth isn't going to be here. No, excuse me, planet Earth will be here. We won't be. Because the damage has now been irreversible. Because we're not focused on more important matters. So the message to the country and the rest of the world: take these fucking idiot boxes. Start spreading our concerns like they spread their propaganda on right-wing conservative, enclosed, isolated media. Institutionalized information. Turn your faces from that shit. You think they're gonna cover this? No, they're not. That's not the agenda. The agenda is to keep their mansions and keep you stupid and dumb. Trying to say climate change is a myth. But everyone in Russia is begging and screaming, kicking and crying on social media that is unbelievably hot. And they can't breathe because permafrost is methane. But no, that's not the concern, America. No, you're not concerned with that. You're concerned with what you need to be concerned with, but also you're concerned with how we're going to get Trump out. Here's an idea. Take him the fuck out. This man is going to murder the entire country because he's lifting 7 very important and necessary coronavirus testing spots as we are at 30,000 infections per state and just slightly below that in 60% of this country. 5 to 10,000 people dying per state a day in 14 states. You think that's not going to happen in America? Oh, we're good up on the East Coast. No, we're not. Because now we're spiking in Massachusetts too. So the message today, America, you have to hear this. Start making noise. If we do not start making noise now, we're going to not live to even regret this. Because we might not be here in 10 to 15 years, according to every single expert in the environmental protection agencies across the country and the world. We need to change the way we do leadership, the way we run our system, and the way we appoint state and local government officials. This isn't healthy, this isn't normal, and this is most certainly not going away. So it's up to the American people and the rest of the world today. We need to change the way we think overall, because we're going to lose our existence. Mother Nature with coronavirus, America, and the rest of the world, I've given you umpteen chances to stop ripping me off and put whatever the fuck you take or pollute back. And if you pollute, get it out. Now she took coronavirus across the fucking spectrum, and we're still arguing and fighting over some bullshit called government, when we all actually have the power to overrun, if necessary, the way this shit works. So I wish everybody a blessed day. Go check out what's going on with your planet. Forget about politics for a while. If we take the focus off politics and the fucking insulated and institutionalized media platforms known as everyday news broadcasting, we can get some shit done and wake the fuck up. Peace and love.